Before we get into understanding how to create financial freedom, we first need to define it. I think a lot of people have only a vague idea of what they mean when they talk about this thing that they crave, and they don't really understand what it is they're going for, and therefore they don't know the right way to go about it. I really want to emphasize that financial freedom can essentially be stretched out into two different definitions. One is about a state of mind, and another is about a state of your finances. And in this course, what I'm looking to do is create both of these. So when we talk about financial freedom as a state of mind, we essentially mean freedom from insecurity about money. Now, this is entirely subjective. You could do this on any budget if you have the right psychological tools. You can get to a place where you're so adaptable and so resourceful and so sure of yourself that your financial situation is not a huge concern to you. You know that no matter what's going on in your bank account or in the global economy, you'll figure it out. That is one form of financial freedom. Understanding you're free from the prison of needing money in order to have a good life. So an example of this might be a minimalist who really doesn't need much money to get by. They're also a very resourceful and confident, highly skilled person, wide range of skills so that they could fit into any industry. Even if one industry closes, they could go work in another one. They're problem solvers who just in general know how to get past issues, so they don't worry that future issues will trip them up. And they've got lots of good connections, so if anything untoward or bad happened to them, they know that they'll have a lot of support. So that's like a concept of a kind of person who would be financially free mentally. Notice I didn't mention how much money they make or how much they've got in the bank or how many assets or investments they've got, because it doesn't matter to a person who's like that psychologically. Now, on the other hand, we have the definition most people are thinking of, which is the financial freedom in terms of the state of your finances. And this is, again, very subjective. Everybody's got a different number for this one. But it's about having what you believe is enough income and assets and money for the foreseeable long-term future to have your needs met as well as your pleasures. To be able to live the life you want without having to be concerned that you won't have enough money to pay for it. So this is a mixture of how much money you have as kind of a sum of your assets and your investments and savings and so on. And then also the amount of guarantee you've got attached to your monthly or yearly income in order to cover your expenses. In this course, we're going to look to try and achieve both. We want you to achieve a level of psychological confidence, which means money no longer intimidates you because you can work around it, through it, with it, under it. It's just a tool that you use, one of the many you use, and you know deep down if you ran out of money, you would make it work. You would solve that problem. And we also want to make sure and use this to help the psychological aspect to manage your actual finances properly, to make sure you're budgeting properly, investing properly, earning properly, creating things like passive income and so on, so that you're actually practicing the resourcefulness that will give you the confidence. The reason really wealthy people can take such big financial risks is not because they have a lot of money, it's because they have a lot of confidence. And that's what actually brings in a lot of money. So your financial freedom mentally will help enable your financial freedom in terms of your finances, and vice versa. They help each other. So in this course, I'm going to look to tackle both. There's a couple of points I want to make. First off, the mindset is far more sustainable than the state of your finances. You are affected financially by the global economy, and we'll talk a little bit about that later, which means no matter how smart you are with your investing and how well you follow the rules, there's always a big shocker coming up some point in your lifetime, and you can't control that. Even the richest people in the world can be brought down. They're less likely to be, but it can happen. Nothing is guaranteed with the concept of money and credit and so on, because these are quite fictional, subjective things. But becoming a confident person, done the real way, is far more sustainable and controllable. In fact, it's entirely up to you. The whole world can come crashing down, but you can still follow principles that make you a confident person. So I want to emphasize, as much as you think the problem is your actual money in the bank, the real problem's up here. You solve this one and the bank problem pretty much goes away regardless of your actual financial situation. The second point I want to make is keep in mind how subjective this is. Your idea of financial freedom would be extreme wealth to one person and poverty to another. We're all so different with this, which tells you that it's not objective. If I think financial freedom is $1,000 a week guaranteed, and a billionaire thinks financial freedom is to have $100 million in cash flow every year, what's the truth? We're both human beings with very similar physical needs. How could he possibly need so much more than I do? And how is it that I think $1,000 a month is freedom, where somebody in a third world country could get by on that in a whole year? It's all completely subjective. So whatever you are certain is the amount you need is almost certainly untrue. It's just in your mind.